Hey everybody, it's Kate Richburg. I am trying to get it all together over here after being away for a week, a little less than a week. But I had to find my computer plug. Whoops, tables. I was worried I had left it in San Juan Bautista, but I didn't. So I found it, and here I am. Here you are. Here we all are. It's great to see everybody today. Let's see. I'm trying to fix my... Let me see. There we go. Maybe I want to fix this. There we go. I think that looks better. The name, so it's not black, right? It's great to have everybody here. It's great to see everybody. Gosh, everybody's here, I guess. Wow, look at Janice. Hello, JP. Sorry, again, apologies. I was a little late, but you know, what are you going to do? I was running around. You saw, so a couple things, and I have to clean my desk because my desk is a mess. It's because I literally walked out here. I haven't walked out of here until I left. Since I left on Monday. Sorry, there was something. I feel like there was something crawling up me back here. I don't know. Whatever. I think it's gone. Anyway, let me focus. Happy Saturday. And as you saw, we did a little sale this morning for Memorial Day. It's going to run through Monday. I debuted it on the homepage just before this broadcast, but I wanted to put this up, so bear with me here just a second. If you go onto beadshop.com and you use code REMEMBER15, that's good for 15% off store-wide this weekend, this kickoff to summer, this remembrance weekend, to remember those who have sacrificed and the families of those who have sacrificed. So yeah, little beginning of summer celebration. Remember 15 at checkout, you'll save 15% store-wide, and that goes through Monday. I always say midnight, but Miranda pointed out to me, because she's so clever, that it's actually 11:59 before the clock turns from Monday to Tuesday. So I'm going to start putting that up. 11:59 Pacific time, 1 minute to midnight on Tuesday morning. Okay, so use that code. You can use it as many times as you want. It's a good time to stock up. We've got things going on. So there you go. And of course, welcome to Saturday Stitchin'. Today is the 24th of May. How did that happen? Just crazy. Let me clean my glasses. Let me get back into the groove. I have been, I had a really good weekend. I want to talk about some things. I want to talk about some ideas. I have an idea rolling around my head since yesterday when we had the broadcast. Was that only yesterday with Emily? When we had that broadcast, and we were talking about beaded purses, etc. I want to play around with something. I have no idea if it's going to work. I've just been working it in my head. So we'll see. Hang on. Let me get a couple of things to share with you. And it's also, I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I want to do with you folks. So the retreat, it was just a little personal retreat that I went on. I invited some of my friends, some of my friends' friends. You saw we were there having a good time. It's where we have the regular bead shop retreat there in San Juan Bautista, California. I need my coffee. There it is. It was really fun. We had a really, really nice time. That place is so peaceful. The food is so tasty and delicious. We had a lot of fun. So those of you who are joining us at our bead retreat in August. Everything is all set. I made my I checked in with my crew there and stuff. It was a lot of fun. So if one addition that they made, which was kind of cool, was Sarah, who's the executive director of the St. Francis Center. She got some ducks. So they were little baby ducklings, but now they're grown-up ducks. And every morning, it's like the Peabody Hotel. The ducks walk from the duck enclosure, the nighttime duck enclosure, down to the daytime duck enclosure. So it's kind of funny. So they just walk through, right? So if you get up early enough, I got up early enough one day to see the duck parade. It was really fun. It was great. The food was amazing. We just had a really, really fun to do. And yeah, it was definitely make way for ducklings. I know we are trying to get together an East Coast retreat. It is challenging to look further ahead, but we're working on it. And I'm still, don't worry, I haven't let the Fresno retreat fall by the wayside either. Just right now, we're just trying literally to get our ducks in a row. And yes, Sherry, they just walked in a row. There was 3 of them. They had a 4th one delivered yesterday. I didn't get to see the 4th one, but they're really cute. I just love them. Yeah, and the quilt on every bed. Yeah, there's those of you who have been there know there's a wonderful, each room has quilts, handmade quilts that a lot of the different quilters that come up to make them. Some of our quilt group has made them. So you'll see in your room, it'll be nice and cozy and you'll have a handmade quilt on your bed. It's fun. The rooms are a little quote unquote rustic, but the floors are new, which is exciting. Beds are new, linens are new. So it's Spartan, but it's nice. It's nice, right? And our accommodations for working together in the workroom and stuff definitely are not Spartan. I need this hair growing out, it's not quite long enough to put behind my ear. So bear with me. I have to get a hairpin so I don't keep screwing with my hair. I think I've got a hairpin right here, thanks to Miranda. Brought me some. As my mom would say, get your hands out of your hair. So let me get my hands out of my hair and put a hairpin in. Thanks everybody for your kind words. It was super restful. I was there again with some of my besties, my high school bestie, Susan, my dear partner in crime bestie, Mary, some other old friends. Our friend Kathy came all the way over from the pond. She crossed the big pond from England, came over. So we had a lot of fun, lots and lots of fun there. But I wanted to share with you, let me put this light up nothing is fixed, right? Nothing is where it should be because I haven't been here for the week, but let me put this light up. There we go. That's good. I think that's good. Let me see. Is that better? That a little bit better? That's a little bit better, I think. So I made some bags. A lot of people worked on quilts. My mom worked on some tote bags. We had a lot of fun doing that. So I'll show you what I made. I made 2 really fun pieces, right? I made this bag. This was a fun one, pretty easy. This bag is the Lola by Swoon, right? It's kind of a fun one. If you look on the Kate Richburg, my Kate Richburg YouTube, I do a little demo on how I quilted this leather, right? It was really fun. It was really fun to make. And then my friend Mary and I made matching bags. This one doesn't have straps on it yet, right? This is a really fun one, kind of it's a very basic bag pattern with a box bottom. My mom actually does this one too. I've done this one forever and ever. Has some slip pockets here, kind of nice on the inside. JP, I am not selling these, but I'm thinking about because so many of you have expressed some interest in making bags, right? As you know, if you've been following my Insta, my Kate Richburg Insta, you've seen that I've been teaching some bag classes, teaching some classes for our local guilds, right? But I thought, you know what? We could teach some on Bead Shop, and it would be like a paid class, right? I've got some other ideas for paid classes, like you would when you would come see me on a like at a bead show or a trade show or whatever, right? So you would have access to that, like my metalsmithing classes, like anything else we would do that's an official class rather than a live or a demo. And so I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that for the fall. In just a month, I'm leaving for France for our France sewing retreat, which is going to be amazing. I'm going to hopefully be able to do some broadcasting from there. Then we've got our Bead Shop bead retreat. So August is out. But after that, I'm thinking about doing some bag classes. So my introductory bag class is a carpet bag tote. It's just like a tote bag. I have great instructions for it. I have a great kit for it. So it'd be really easy. You just need a sewing machine, a domestic sewing machine. Maybe I'll do a little sewing machine 101 kind of freebie before that, right? So we'll see. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. Shoot me an email and let me know. Janice is saying we need a class on how to hem pants. Janice, I will be glad to teach you how to hem pants. That's really funny. We should. I should do a stitch in on hemming, hand hemming, and with your machine. But I think in the fall we're gonna start adding a little bit of sewing content, right? My Beaded Bliss is saying she inherited her mom's machine. She'd love to learn how to use it. I love that too. We could do a really simple, I've got a lot of machines here, and this will finally justify why I have so many machines, right? So I could do a little machine 101, get to know you. And I'm thinking about teaching some beginning sewing, just like I teach my metalsmithing, right? We're going to start by just looking at your machine, sewing some simple straight stitches, learning how to fill a bobbin, learning what the needles mean, stuff like that, right? That's a freebie. That's one I'll just toss out because that would be really fun. We'll talk about the machines. We'll get to know you. Right? My mom's all, I'm ready. I will be. And my mom taught sewing and sewing classes forever and ever. That'll be really fun. Maybe I'll do them in my living room at my dining table. That would be fun. So then what we'll do, sorry, my nose is running a little bit. Sorry. I don't mean to be gross, but sorry about that. There we go. Then my tote bag, Totes 101, we'll talk about interfacing. It'll have everything in it that you need to make the tote. And then we can graduate, right, to other classes. Something like this, my friends. This, you don't even need a pattern. You measure and cut. And a lot of people, those of you who have quilted or have done any quilting before, measuring and cutting using, I took all of my measuring and cutting tools with me over the weekend, but using a rotary cutter, using a ruler, using a mat, and you measure and cut pieces. So you don't even need patterns, right? You need a few templates. Like for something like this, of course, we've got a shaped template for it, right? Because this has a curve like this. But something like this, which is just a rectangle, you just need to be able to measure accurately, not difficult to teach you, and then cut it out and stitch it, right? So, and this, you don't have to, this is vinyl down here at the bottom. This is vinyl, right? These are fancy fabrics, but you can use fabrics from any realm, from quilting cottons, from recycled fabrics, from jeans. One of my students, it was pre-made fabrics, but she made a bag. I think Joanne, rest in peace, had this quilted denim that they made, right? That was fabric, that was yardage. But you could use recycled jeans. We could sew all of those into a quilted thing. I did over the weekend, and I'll show it to you later. I don't have it out here right now, but I have a bunch of upholstery fabrics that I use for those quilt bag kits. And so I kind of put them together, and I made a quilted, kind of a crazy quilt kind of a pattern, because I want to make a big carpet bag, a big Mary Poppins bag that has magical things in it. So I kind of started with that. So, you know, I feel like with metalsmithing, right? Metalsmithing, if you've ever taken a class that I've done in metals or gotten my books, Simple Soldering or Metalsmithing Made Easy, I have you do advanced things. Even here at the bead table, you use advanced things or do advanced things, but you don't know they're advanced, right? Because we just take you through step by step by step. So it's going to be the same thing, I think, with stuff like this, right? Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of your machine. I see a lot of people in the comments saying, I've got a machine, but I've never gotten, you know, I haven't gotten it out yet. And I love this. Liz is so in. Hemming pants. Oh, sure. We'll make a tote and we'll hem pants. It'll be great. It's easier than you think. But if you have a Karen, if you have your machine, have you gotten your machine out lately? Right? Take it out, make sure it's running, commune with it a little bit, right? And I think this is what we're going to do for the fall. This needs straps. The straps are on the inside. But I don't know if you've seen Dior on the runway. If you've seen Dior. Dior has had, see, and I'm going to move myself kind of like this. They did this giant clutch purse. It looks like a giant change purse. It has a kiss lock on the top. You can look it up. It's a giant tote. So it has no straps. And people are just walking around with this big clutch, this giant clutch purse. So I'm thinking, you know what? This will work. I'm just going to walk around with this giant clutch like this. But no, I am going to put handles on this one eventually. But yeah, so, you know, the fun of it is you can take something really simple like this shape, and you can create anything. You can definitely use, Barbara, things like cork. That cork fabric is fun to use. You know, Sharon, we'll get you using that machine. Karen, I am a Singer. I love my old Singer. I brought my 401A with me. I didn't use that one. I used my Sailrite. But, you know, you just find a machine and then you go for it. Sherry, I do use purse feet. This one doesn't have on the bottom, but this one, let me show you the purse feet. Just look at them. Don't you love purse feet? I love them. I love them. So easy to put in, I promise you. You know, really, really fun. I love a purse feet. I think they're fun. No, Alita, this is not Pendleton. Thank you for asking, and I'll tell you where I got this. This is like, it's woven. I don't know if you could see it. It's a woven like serape kind of fabric. I got it when I went to, I guess I do go on a lot of little sewing excursions. I went last year on a little sewing weekend with some friends to Santa Cruz. And Santa Cruz has a great fabric store called Harts, Harts. And they have these. And they have a lot of stuff online, so they may still have them. It's cotton. It's a little narrower, but I love it. But Pendleton wool, if Pendleton also carries offcuts and stuff like that. But I loved it. And my friend Mary actually cut this one out for me, so you can see. Look at how nicely it matches. Look at how the back and the front match, right? So that's great. Really fun. Karen K, I have some bra kits, not to get too personal, but I've always wanted to make lingerie, underwear. I have. There are groups who sew bras and lingerie. I have some kits that are still, still floating around. But it's a real art to make couture underpinnings, right? I have some. My friend Mary has made me some under delegates, I guess you could call them. They were super fun. Anyway, so that's what's on the sewing upcoming. Yeah, start looking now, right? Like my mom was saying, use old curtains. Go thrifting. Thrift stores are great for repurposed. You may have a repurposed, like in the Bay Area, we have something called FabMo. That's kind of like a repurpose group. I think it's a nonprofit. And they carry like I don't know, upholstery fabrics, stuff like that. The other thing, check and see if locally you have a guild, a sewing guild, a quilting guild. If you're near us in Fresno, come to the Fiber Arts Guild. The cool thing about local guilds, and even if you're not a sewer, right? If you're an interested sewer, just go. Those guilds are full of folks that want to share, right? That want to share their info, pass on their techniques. Very rarely is there any kind of gatekeeping in guilds like that. The other cool thing about those guilds is that they usually have like trading tables, right? All of our guilds do. You come and you bring fabric or things, whatever, fabric, notions, patterns, half-used kits, unused kits, all that kind of stuff. If you have it, you bring it and you just put it on the donation table. And now with the prices of fabric going up and the resources for fabric going down, right? Those kind of resources are indispensable, indescribably indispensable, right? So you can pick up, I get a lot of my best fabric. I bring fabric, I get fabric from my guilds, sometimes fancy fabric. Sometimes when a sewer passes away, their family donates to a guild. The guild has more fabric than they know what to do with, so they put it out so people can take it. So look for a guild in your area. Quilting guild, sewing guild, stitching guild, fiber arts guild, whatever. It's usually filled with like-minded folks who are ready to share their techniques. I love this chat about FabMo in the chat. FabMo is such a great such a great resource. I love this, that you work close to FabMo. And I know you, Rust Moon, make such beautiful things. I know you make some fabric things from stuff from them as well. And Joy, that's awesome. I would donate, just crafting stuff. At Bead Shop, we would donate beads, cord, things that are left over. It's really great. It's really great. They're a really great initiative. So that's my little thing for there. Tyvek, yes. Tyvek, what I've used, I haven't used the house wrap, Sherry, but what I have used and people have used before are those, what do I want to say? Like those mailers from USPS. I know you're not supposed to repurpose them for other things, but they're Tyvek mailers. They're big. And there are people who use them, who like quilt on them, who paint on them, stuff like that. So I've never used it, but yeah, it's cool. Tyvek is kind of straddles the line between paper and fabric. It's cool. So look it up. You use it like for house wrap underneath siding. But if you Google it, look it up, you'll see it, right? But again, I'm trying to see if we have any of those mailers. I don't, but the mailers, the Tyvek mailers are big, right? They're usually big like this, the mailing envelopes. And you can like paint over them, all kinds of stuff like that. So if you're near the post office, run in and get a Tyvek mailer. It's tough as nails. I thought about using using some for like stitching or making a handbag or something like that. But there are a lot of people who use Tyvek. It's kind of a cool, like upcycle kind of a thing. Okay. So that's that. That's what I've got there. Let me show you what I've been thinking about. I'm now all of a sudden I'm a little worried. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work. Let me add my camera. Yeah, alcohol inks with it, right? Beading on it for sure. I need to look it up. I'll look it up after the show. I also wanted to mention, let me show you a couple of things. We have our coupon code right now, remember 15. If you're watching me live, it is Saturday, May 24th. It goes through Monday, which is the 26th, Monday at 11:59 p.m. And that's 15% off store-wide. Okay. We also, I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this on Saturdays sometimes, and I don't want you to feel like it's mandatory, but we did start a coffee account, and some of you have been very, very generous, and we're very, very appreciative. If you dig what we do here at Bead Shop, all of this free education that we put out, it's not free for us, right? I'm at work right now, gladly at work. But you can jump over to our website, ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/beadshop.com. If you want to leave a little tip there, it's called like buying a coffee. Feel free. We always appreciate it. It helps us kind of keep the lights running for our educational portion of beadshop.com. But we really, really appreciate it. And many of you have been so generous and kind about that. There is my bestie, Christine. I was up at 5 a.m., which was crazy. I thought about texting you. Maybe tomorrow, right? We've got to catch up. I had a great week. Susan was there. She says to say hello. We got a lot going on. Okay. So, but all good things, whatever. But that to say, I miss you. Hi. All right. That was good. Karen, was that at that was your Canadian order, right? Was that tariffs? That was interesting. We're still looking at what's going on there. Still a crazy sitch. It looks like the Canadian postal strike has been postponed for a bit. We have another Canadian customer who emails us regularly. So again, thank you. I appreciate it. I know that tariffs and everything are crazy right now. So thank you for that. And Karen, will you just email us the details, right? Let us know like how much it was and kind of what happened with it, because that was real life intel that we would know. Okay, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow at 5. I miss you. Love you. Okay, let's take a look at what I'm going to do here. Do you think Fridays are casual? Saturdays are super casual. Okay, so yesterday we talked about when Emily was doing all of her things. We talked about vintage bags, right? Vintage beaded bags, more beaded bags, stuff like that. And I've been thinking about this actually for a while, and about like maybe making a beaded bag with fabric, maybe making a beaded bag, I don't know, with beads, or, you know, what I want to say, seed beads, stuff like that. But there is a vintage, let me get this my little notes from last time. There's a stitch. Emily jogged my memory when she was doing right angle weave, right? And we have 4 beads for this right angle weave, right? Thinking about making a cloth using this right angle weave stitch. Okay. And I thought, well, maybe I want to make it with larger beads. I've seen people actually attempt it with like round beads, so maybe we'll try and source those. If this works out, maybe we could do it in a kit. But I wanted to toss around some ideas in my head, and I thought I'd toss them around with you in case you have any experience with this. So I wanted to get a couple of the biggest like beads that we have in bulk. So I got the 2-aught Matubos, and I got the 6-aught Miyukis. Okay. So, whoops, I think I just dropped some seed beads into my coffee. Hopefully they'll sink to the bottom. Here are the 2-aughts. Right? Those are Matubos. These aren't going to go a long way, but at least I will get a feeling for it. Okay? I don't know. Who knows? Here are 6-aughts. Okay. Sherry, don't worry about talking too much. I love handbags too. I love vintage. I have a lot of vintage handbags for sure that I've collected over the years. I just love them. So I'm going to try and replicate this stitch. Yeah, this probably would have to have a lining. I'm also using, we have for like restringing beads and stuff, I just grabbed some fishing line. Okay, I can put this in our Amazon storefront, which one this is. I got it on Amazon. It was very inexpensive, Zebco. I could put it in our Amazon storefront. You could use like Ceylon or something, but I wanted to use something that was rigid. So I'm going to put on 4 Matubos here. I'm also thinking cloth like this because someone said yesterday, what about doing right angle weave and then embellishing on the top of it, right? So I don't know. Who knows? But I just wanted to play around. This could all end in tears. It could all be a tragic mistake. But right, I've put on 4 beads and then I'm going back through the top one, right? Like that. So here, and Matubos are kind of squared off, right? They look kind of like little pony beads. But can you see that? There it is. Okay. So since I've got 4, now I'm going to put on 3. I'm going to put on 2 on this one and 1 on this one. Sherry, I want to know more about this story. I also grew up watching old Hollywood because, that's how we were. And your great grandmother was a part of it. Vintage was so glamorous. I want to know. I want to know what that was all about. Because I'll tell you, nothing better than vintage Hollywood. So I put on one. Now I'm going to put on two. And I'm going to cross into the number 2 bead that's here. Okay. And I'm going to tighten. So see how that comes? That number 4 bead that was there, see, down there, becomes the first bead in this new 4 pattern. Okay, let me zoom in and see. I don't know. I don't know how this fishing line is going to work, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Okay. These bowls, these were a little gift from one of our customers, our dear friend Tina V, sent those. They're old Air France. I think I've shown you the back of these before. Here are some. Right, the little Air France dishes. Aren't those cute? This one was from a pottery. We have a pottery studio, several here in Fresno. I got that little one. So now we put on 2. We put on 1. Sorry, I'm trying to. And then we pass through, again, we pass through this one. And we tighten. Can you see it? Okay. 2. And 1. And now I go through number 2. Chris is out and about doing yard work. Like this. I love, look at this. I love this story. Seamstress to the stars. I love it. Oh, get her to live at Hearst Castle. If you come to California, the Central Coast, you must go to Hearst Castle. It's one of my mom and I, it's one of our favorite things to do. Hearst Castle is where William Randolph Hearst kind of had his playground for the stars. It's so fantastic. And take the house tour, that like the private, like they do kind of a tour of like the guest houses and stuff. And they have all printed, they have them all like kitted up with like vintage clothing and stuff like that. It's good times, right? It's really cool to see. I love seeing Hearst Castle. So here we go. See, these aren't really super rounded, but I think if I add another row in, I can get them to round up. So I'm going to go, let's see, let me see how many little sections I have. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me do like 8 across, maybe. Okay. What a great story. Sherry, I love it. I love it. There was always something, all those tales, everything that happened up at Hearst Castle, for sure. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love. Yeah, Hearst Castle is just, it's so cool. So cool. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to turn the corner. I'm going to try and make this into fabric. I'm not sure. Yeah, Rosebud. Yeah, totally. 1 and 2. One of my favorite old movies, and it's also because I was with Mary this whole week, and Mary and I quote just about all of our favorites. One of my favorite old time movies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to put on one more. Is The Women with Norma Shearer, right? And of course Joan Crawford and the whole crew, right? Is there? If you haven't watched The Women on the Road to Reno, do yourself a favor, find it this weekend, watch it, and sit down and do a beading project. It is so delightful. So good. I just love watching it. Right? Yeah, I love The Women. So now I need to get a row. So see here how I've got to turn the corner. So I think I need 2. Let me just see if I can puzzle this out. I know. And I was going to say the fashion show, where the fashion show is colorized. Yes. Jungle red. Yes. 100%. Let me see if I put those on. And I'm going to go through this. First, I'm just trying, Cindy, to make something that's flat and beaded that I could turn into a purse, right? And yes, watch the original. Dalia, watch the original. Right? Yes. L'amour on the road to Reno. Yes. So true. Let's see. And since I was with my friend Mary all weekend, we've been quoting a lot of stuff. That's not right. Let me take that out. Okay. I'm just going to mock this up. I knew that one row would be really easy, but turning the corner would give me a headache. So I know I have to have a bead here, right? Like right there. And I need a bead going this way. So I'm just going to build it one by one, right? So this, so there's that one. And it kind of has to go this way. Okay. Maybe I need to skip this. Maybe I need to go through this one. I should have paid attention to Emily's right angle weave. Right? Yeah, they do the plastic with the fishing line and the big beads. I guess I should have watched one to learn how to do it, right? So here's this. This one's going here. Maybe this one needs to go this way through there, so it's even. Let me put on a bead and see how this works. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let me see. That's kind of a big old mess, isn't it? Well, I've got this figured out. I know someone out there knows how to do this, and they're like, Kate, for God's sakes, this is how you do it. Okay. Kim is saying, okay, Kim, I go through 3 beads. Kim's going to tell me what to do. 1, I add from the outer middle bead. Okay. Hang on. Let me get there. Here's my outer middle. I'm going to have you tell me. Why aren't you folks here doing this with me? Okay. So here's the outer middle. Okay. So I'm here. Now, do I add 3? So 1, 2, and 3, and then go back through here? Let me see. Is that correct? From the side, put on 3 beads, and then circle back. Is this right? One, 2, and 3. No, this isn't right. I'll just wait till someone tells me. I'm here. Now I've got these 3. Where do I go? Do I go here? Oh, I'm going to look at the comments. Oh, circle back through the bead I exited from. Take off those bead. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm taking these off. I took off those beads. Then move each strand through the upper bead. This one. And now okay. Okay. Sorry. Now 3, maybe 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and look at a tutorial and then figure it out. And then I can pick this up later. I told you it would all end in tears. Old message, see Alita. Okay. Add 3 beads, and now I go through this one. That doesn't feel right. Do I go through? I'll just put it there. I'm looking. I went back through that one. It should be really easy. Why can't I do this? That goes here. Oh, circle back. Hang on. Circle back through this one. Maybe. Oh, it's close. I'm close. Circle back through this one. Yes. I bet that's it. I think I did it. Look. Yes. See, you just need patience. I did it. So now, that one I think is right? Like that. So now, I think I have to get this strand up there too, right? Because I need 2 strands, or can I do it with just one? So if this is here, this is here, and this is here, I go through this one. Oh, okay. Let's see. Now, I put on 2, I think. 1 and 2. And I go through, oh, I'm missing, let's see. I think this is wrong, but maybe not. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. And I go through there. Then I'll look this up, and I'll look up Emily's instructions. So I go through, this is how I'm doing it anyway, because I think I'm getting the result that I want. Yeah, I keep going in circles, right? There it is. And now I go through, let's see, so that's correct. This is correct. This is not, I don't think. Two. Okay. Well, I'm going to play around with this some more. This is, I'm like this close to it, right? I'm just, my thread path is a little off. I did this one correctly. So let me go back out to here. I'm going to try one more thing, and then I'm going to move on and play around with something else with you folks. I told you, not mine. I'm not afraid. I need to look at Emily's tutorial. But I think this has, yeah, and maybe a different string material. I don't know. Okay, whew, I'm going to zoom out on this. This first part went perfectly. So, the first stitch would be the 2 beads. Yeah, I think so. Like here I added the 3. I added here's that one, right? That's that. This is that bead. And this is that bead. I'm going to just do one more thing. Bear with me here just a second. 2, sorry, and 2. And then I go through here, right? This one. And I go through that side bead, which is this one. Right? I go through this bead. And I tighten. There, that's right. Now I've got to go back through this. Go on now. You stay right there. And also because these are kind of squared off, I go back through this one. I put on my 2, right? This is where I put on 2. 1 and 2. Then I go through and I go through this one. Sorry, my hands don't want to grip. When I finally figure it out, it's going to be so easy and I'm going to be so irritated at myself. Well, circles in the opposite direction. Yeah. Well, learning on video. I'll play around with this. I've got the first line good to go. Because what I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to take this bad one. I'm going to take this row out so I don't confuse myself. What I'm thinking is there must be a way, if I make this fabric, right? I love it. Karen, you're just shouting it all the way from Canada. I love it. I'm going to play around with this. I didn't promise that I would teach you how to do it. I promised that this was going to be kind of a play around to see if I could do it. And no, I cannot puzzle it out right now. But what I'm thinking is this, that if we start with larger beads and then we go to smaller beads, I could shape this. Right? This has probably already been done. I'm sure this is nothing new under the sun. But I think if I reduce the size of the beads, I can shape it so it has some shape. And then I'm thinking about maybe you could fold it over somehow, right? right? So I don't know. I'm going to keep playing around with that. I appreciate everybody's info here, right? Let me show you a couple of other things that I'm working on, and then because it's almost noon. I mean, I've been on here forever, so thank you. This I'm going to table this. I'm going to conquer this right here. Let me show you something else I've been working on. Oh, there's a mosquito in here. I've been playing around with, yeah, I'm putting it in timeout. I don't even know, Alita, what prismatic right angle weave. I know Emily knows this, but I do not. So, yeah, so Margaret, this is all your fault because you were saying you would love a beaded purse or whatever. And yeah, that's a really good idea, Sherry. I will get Emily's right angle weave graph paper. She has some up on the website, and I'll kind of color it in. So my first row, I'm golden. The rest of it, it's a mess, right? So we'll table that mess for a second. But something that isn't a mess is this piece that I've been playing around. So, I've got a Frida stitch-in kit for you folks that's coming up. And I'm casting my mind forward a few kits, right? So the Frida stitch-in, maybe it'll come next weekend. I was hoping it would come sooner than that, but there's so many component parts for it that I need a little more time to put it together. But I've been playing around with, whoops, I just dropped a bead tube. Let me put that over there. I know, Janice, she did. Maybe she'll maybe she'll put me in timeout too. But it's a start. It's a start. It's a start of an idea. Because what I want to do is I want to do that, make that cloth out of beads, and then I want to embellish somehow on the top of it. So it's still nebulous in my head. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But thank you for helping me work that through. This, let me show you this. I've worked this one through. What I want to do with this, I've been playing around with the bead tool, and I wanted to do kind of a all-seeing heart eye kind of thing. So you can see this is in Delicas. This is it in real size 11 Delicas here. And I was thinking about I would do a little mix for this. So, because you don't need a lot of beads for it. And you'll get the pattern. And I found yesterday 2 things. I found fabric for the Frida Stitch-in kit after this one that I'm releasing. And I found some really great like heart hand eye fabric that I thought would make a great backdrop as a pin. So what I want to do with this, so you'll see it because this is maybe the one that's in between the 2 Frida Stitch-in kits. I'm thinking about getting myself some kind of a pin or getting you some kind of a, like, I don't know. We did this at my clothing retreat. We made these really cool pins that had like these really big safety pins like this, right? Like kilt pins or something. And I thought I could stitch, we could do this with like 2 little beaded things. And then behind it, maybe I would cut it with pinking shears or something. We do a little piece of cloth behind it, like with a dagged edge, right? So I just have to work out what this is going to be. And I have to bead the rest of this to make sure that this pattern is okay. But it's going to be kind of small. I'm up to like this much of the pattern is this much right here, right? So I'm almost to like the heart and eye portion. So I want to make sure it looks okay. So this is the other thing I've been working on. It takes a while to develop these things. I think what you're going to love, though, with the Frida, yeah, there might be, Deborah, that is a really great observation. There might be a symbol finding, actually, that might work. We could use, Danielle just used that Alona. It was for an ADOT, but she used that little Alona finding. Maybe there's something there to that. But the fabric that I found to go behind this, maybe it's a little bit bigger. It's just kind of a little secret because this would maybe lift up and you would expose the fabric on the back. I don't know. I'm still working this one out. But do you want a sneak peek of the Frida kit for next week? I'll show you this. It would come with I'm using that bead tool, the bead tool, bead pattern maker. Let me see if I've got the Frida kit sitting over here. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of it if I can lay my hands on it fast. Yeah, here it is. So there's more components to it, but you folks remember my first Frida stitch-in. If we get it done this week, maybe I'll debut it on a stitch-in on next week. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let me just show you some of the fabric for it. Shall I? There's going to be 2 colorways and all kinds of embellishments. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to play around with some beading, like the other Frida. You remember my old one. And I want to see what you've made with the first Frida stitch-in. Let me get it. I have mine sitting over here. If you didn't grab the first one, this was the premiere one. Like this. Remember, this was the first one. Right? So I've seen a few of you post your makes with this Frida stitch-in. So I want to see if you've stitched it. I want to see what you've done. See how it has this little hidden thing and stuff here? Well, I'm going to have 2 colorways of this one. And my friend Laura, bless her heart, has cut out. You're going to get a bunch of these little things. She's cut these. She's fussy cut these. And then there's more. Whoops, I just dropped that. See what she did? She brought them over in a little packet like this. I'm going to open it up. Oh, fiber friends. You got to give the right job to the right people. You've got a background. Look at how nicely these are cut. Look at that, my friend Laura. Bless her heart. So I think we're going to use, you can tell me which should go with which. I think I'm going to put this background with that one and this stripe with that one. Let me put them in there. Then let me put these over here. A lot of thought goes behind these stitching kits, right? These stitch-in kits that I do. I'd like to get them out sooner, but so, and look at this. Look, I got these flowers. I have to cut these up. Each one of these is cut up and put lovingly in a little bag. Maybe I'll switch out. Maybe I'll put, well, I don't know. Look at how pretty that is. And then I've got blue for the other one. You could get one of each and mix and match them. I think I'll make another big patch like this. You'll get a pin back too. I've got a pin back for it. I've got a bigger pin back than this one this time. But these make really great patches for your denim jacket or for anything, right? You could put them in a thing on the wall. So here's the blue. Look at, I'm excited. I think that blue is going to go. You're going to get a little piece of the blue like that. Is this not focused, right? Zoom in a little bit. Then I've got some other bits and bobs to go. I've got some of this serape. Look at this. Serape ribbon. Right. Oh, reverse the background. Do we like that one better? Maybe we do. What do you think? Is that better? Is that background better? Let me zoom out. You can let me know what you think. It is better. Maybe I'll switch these. Okay. I'm switching them. Switch it out. Then what else do I have? I've got some other things in here. Some other little things that I'll show you. Right? Then maybe a little bit of that braid to that one. And a little bit of that braid to that one, right? I think that's better. Yeah, so I've got some other things for it, but I think it'll be cool. And I think that you can, what'll be cool is you can cut these up and embellish, you know, with some things and stuff. So you're going to get the, you're going to get these. So we'll play around with it after I release them. I will kind of, I'll choose one. We'll cut it up. We'll play around it. We'll play around with it. But anyway, this is coming. So I wanted to show you these. I wanted to give you a little teaser on these. I'm kind of in love with making these Frida stitch-in kits. I found fabric for the Frida stitch-in kit number 3. That's really good. Oh, some of you like the first one. Well, I'll see. Well, all right. What you can do is you can get 2 and then you can do whatever you want, right? I'll see. I'm going to play around because I've got more beads and more colors to palette. So I'll play around with that. Okay. So that's what I've got. But I did find the fabric for stitch-in kit number 3, which will be probably not until I get back after France. But I do want to get this little heart thing working too. So, but I have to order the beads for it so that everything is together, so you don't have to buy individual little tubes and stuff. But I'm getting there. These are kind of fun. I know I'm trying to make you, thank you, Margaret. I'm trying to make these kits, these little kind of fun little things, like as juicy and as interesting as possible. And they're limited. I'm not going to go back and make more. So I won't. This one, if you have one of these free to stitch in, hurrah. So, because I'm not making this one again. But we'll, I'm going to keep moving forward. And don't let this first one languish in your, in your bead stuff, right? Take it out and start stitching on it, right? Add some things that you might have. Because then before you know it, keep it by your chair or whatever, get a nice little basket, keep everything in there, and then just stitch it as you think. And then soon you'll have your little patch and you can put it on your jacket or put it in a frame or whatever. And then it's done. And then you can move on to the second one, right? Or the third one or whatever. But that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun that way. So I guess that's it. We didn't really make much today. I kind of screwed around, showed you that I couldn't do this right angle weave fabric, but whatever. It's all a learning process. I'm not afraid. What are you going to do? I don't know how to do everything, but I will. I will conquer it. Gave you some sneak peeks. Next week, I have no idea. I don't know. Let me look at the calendar. Next week, so our final episode on, sorry, I've got something in my eye. Our final episode of our masterclass with Janice will be not the first Wednesday, but it'll be the second Wednesday because Janice is going to be gone. Okay. So next week I need to look and see the calendar. I have no idea what we're doing on Wednesday and Friday. I mean, I'm sure it's scheduled, but I've got to check. We've got some new drops, some new stuff is coming. We've got a bunch of new semi-precious that's coming out. I've got a very special drop from the vault that's coming. It's taking a little time for me to get it up because it's super special. But you'll see that. We are having I'll put this up, our big Memorial Day sale. Use code REMEMBER15 at checkout and save 15% off store-wide. And it's through Monday, May 26th at 11:59 Pacific time, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So that sale will go on through Monday. So now's the time to do some stocking up. If you want to play around with some Matubos, some 2-aughts, some 6-aughts, tell me how you're doing this. I'd love it. I also put up that we did put up a coffee account. So if you love what we do with our education, since we bring you so much free education around here at beadshop.com, we have over 1,000 videos up on our Bead Shop YouTube channel, as well as the Bead Shop website. If you are all inclined, it is welcome, not required and not expected, but you can leave us a little tip over there. You can find us over on the socials everywhere: Facebook, Pinterest, Insta. Hit that like and subscribe button over on our YouTube channel. Reach out to us anywhere on socials at beadshop.com. And if you have questions, hit us up at info@beadshop.com there. We will be taking Monday off for Memorial Day. Okay. And Memorial Day, if there's any fires to put out, I'll look at it. But we're taking Memorial Day off, so that means that we're not shipping on Monday. We're filling. We're almost. I think orders are in the queue and caught up. But if you have any questions, shoot them over. We'll glance at the emails probably. But we'll all be back in the office on Tuesday. Okay. Monday, Miranda has a well-deserved rest, though she's saying she's coming in tomorrow, which is crazy, but we'll see. But anyway, we'll be back to normal operations on Tuesday. Everyone have a restful beginning of summer. I can't believe that May is almost done. Stay sane, stay hydrated, break out the grill. Remember those who sacrificed and went before us. Remember that we have things worth fighting for. I don't know, all of that great stuff. Have a great, great weekend. Thank you, JP, for being here and moderating. Thanks to all of you for being here for the Stitch In just to chat. We really relish and thank you for it for sure. Karen K, I agree. Stay safe. Why isn't that coming up? Karen's comment is stay safe and stay happy. I don't know. I'm having trouble putting the comments up. Maybe it's because I've got this one down here. But there it is. There it is right there. So thank you all. Yeah, it's the long goodbye. I like a long goodbye for sure. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thanks so much all. And I will see you next week. Talk to you soon.